In this video, I'll show you how to create a simple for loop for accessing data from an array in MATLAB. This should be very helpful for your Lab 7 work. So what we have here for this sample is an example of a data set. Here the variable x data represents just some vector of data. In this array we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. What I'd like to do, for starters, is I'd like to loop through this and try to access each of those elements. So I'm going to start by figuring out how long the array is. I've counted this, but it's easier if we let MATLAB do it. If I use the length command and let n equal the length of data, and I run my code, you'll see MATLAB can count this. It'll find out there are 7 elements in there. I'm going to write a for loop now. And my for loop is going to loop through and just print out the elements of x data. So I'm going to start with for. My counter variable is I. I'm going to have that start at element 1 and go until the end of the array, that's n. And I'm just going to access elements along the way. So to do that, I'm going to type in x data, that's the name of the array, parentheses I. This gets the element in position I in this vector. And if I run this code, we'll see my length equals 7, the first element is 3, the second element is 1.2, the third element is 4.4, and so on. Now going through and printing out each of these is not particularly useful. Let's go through and add all of these up. So like we've done in class before, I'm going to start with an accumulator. I'm going to call it sum, and I'm going to set it equal to 0. Inside the loop, I'm going to start counting these things up. So I'm going to set the new value of the sum to equal whatever the old value was, plus however much the data says. I'll suppress the output so it doesn't show on every line. And at the end of my script, I'll just type the word sum, so I'll get that output. And when I run this code, I find that, again, the length of x data is 7. And if I added up all the elements in here, I would have 23.9 total. For the lab we're going to want to do left and right endpoints, maybe midpoints. So we won't want all of the elements of x data, we'll just want some. If we were to do a left Riemann sum, I would want to start with the leftmost point, go until 1 before the final point. So to modify my loop, instead of going from 1 to n, I can go from 1 to n minus 1. If I wanted a right endpoint, well, if I want to write Riemann sum, I'm going to skip the first point and just add the last n minus 1 points. So I would go from 2 until n. And most of the stuff we'll be doing with Riemann sums will involve manipulating this counter in some way. This should give you a start on how to do Lab 7.